Hi everyone, I just want to welcome you to Stat 2 this summer, and I want to provide you a little introduction to the course and kind of take you around Canvas and the syllabus so you can find everything. My name is Lori Austin. I will be your professor for the next 6 weeks, and I look forward to working with you. I've been a member of the Math and Computer Science Department at Raritan Valley for about 12 years now. I also currently serve as the chair of the Math and Computer Science Department. Prior to that, I was 10 years as a high school math teacher, and I do look forward to working with you. I enjoy teaching these courses, and I hope you enjoy taking it. It's 6 weeks. There's a lot of information that's crammed in that 6 weeks, but it is incredibly doable. If you just take each week, 1 week at a time, complete all the work for that week. The important thing is you don't want to get behind. The second you get behind, you're going to have a hard time finishing before the time is up, before the course is over. And you don't want that to happen. If it seems like too much, don't forget that everything's over by the end of June. You can do it. So let me just take you to the course now and take a look at what we will be working with here. Whoops. Okay, so this is our Canvas course. When you pop on it for the first time, this is what you're going to see. I'm going to switch over to student view so that what I see is mostly, it looks a little bit more like what you see. And so our home page will basically, don't get too intimidated by the to-do list. It's just going to list absolutely everything that's coming up. And it also will have a description of each of these module tabs that you have, the tabs that you have on the left-hand side. So we have modules, grades, announcements, your syllabus, MyLab and mastering, which we'll talk about in a minute. So the modules are where you're going to spend most of your time. We're going to click on that in 1 second. Your gradebook, of course, you want to keep that up. You want to constantly be knowing what your grades are, and everything will be provided to you. You'll always know exactly what your average is in this particular course. Announcements, I will send announcements regularly. That's how I communicate with you throughout the week. I give you kind of heads up, you've got this test coming up and stuff like that. If I change a date, if I do anything, I'll send out an announcement. If you download the app on your phone, the announcements can be sent to you as notifications. Just be careful. You don't want to have everything sent to you as a notification, because that means every time I tweak something in the course, you'll get a notification, and that could happen daily. But you want to set it up possibly so that you get notification on every announcement. This syllabus here is not necessarily our syllabus for the course. This just represents a complete listing of due dates. So it just kind of tells you what's due. And right now the homeworks aren't showing up here, so we have to, but they will when you open the course. Okay, so let's go to modules, because that's where you're going to spend most of your time. The first thing you're going to see actually is this introductory video at the top. That's not there right now. And hopefully you saw that video because you're actually watching it right now, and that's the first thing you clicked on. Also, our syllabus is there. There is some information about Mystatlab and the Academic Support Center. Now, nothing is currently open on campus at the moment, unless this is the second part of the summer course where things might be open. So you kind of have to check our website for that information to see when things are open. This is the registration information form to get onto MyLabs and Mastering. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. This formula card, you want to print that out and have that in front of you when you're doing all the problems in this course. It's very important. It's very detailed. You'll see it throughout the videos I make, and you'll use it for everything. P-value calculator. This course will utilize something called Statcrunch in MyLab and Mastering. It's a statistical software program. Also, a graphing calculator is helpful, though not necessarily needed. At some point, if you need to come up with an exact p-value, this calculator could be very helpful. It takes you to an external website where you can log in the information and get an exact p-value. Because our formula sheet will only give you intervals for most p-values. can also learn how to calculate an exact p-value using your graphing calculator. And if you have any questions, you can utilize these links. I set up the course in weeks, so because it's 6 weeks, these week modules look very long, but they're nice. All you have to do is go through it in order. I would love everybody, of course, to introduce themselves. This kind of just gives you an overview of everything that you need to do during the week. Everything in blue with these links are videos that I make. It takes you directly, pops you to the YouTube channel where you can view videos. Some of them are longer, some are short. A lot of this stuff right now is review from Stat 1, so you may not have to watch the whole video. And there are detailed notes. And then this will take you directly to your online homework. Again, all you really need to do is just go through everything in order. So here's the next video. This one I think covers 8.1 and 8.2. This one covers 8.3. And then notice you have a quiz. So after you get done 8.3, you can take the quiz, the online quiz, which is in Mystatlab. You also have a forum to answer after 8.3. And then it continues. Okay. So I will populate more videos as I make them. I'm going to start making more of them on Monday and get them in there. And you'll continue through, and then you finish for that week. And you start week 2 and the same thing happens, except as you go through week 2, you'll start to see a test review. While the quizzes take you into Mystatlab, the actual test will be done here in Canvas. And be careful. Right now it's not open. I don't think it's going to show much, but it does tell you when it will be available. It's locked until the 28th. It tells you how much time you get, how many questions. Apparently I missed the point, so it was supposed to be out of 100. I'll fix that. And, for those tests, one of the things I want you to take time to learn how to do before you take the test is learn how to upload a multi-page document in one file. So if you have a scanner at home, it's pretty easy to do, obviously. Because for every test, not the quizzes, but for the 3 tests in the final, you are going to need to upload your work. And you're going to have to upload it before you close your test. So I give you enough time. The test itself should only take 90 minutes, but I give you 150 minutes to give you that time to take your pages of work and upload them as the last test question. But if you upload single pages, then it's like 6 documents I have to open, or I've gotten up near 10 because students will put one problem on every image, and that takes a really long time. There are some great apps on your phone. If you look at your syllabus, which we're going to open now, I tell you what some of these apps are. So let's take a look at our course syllabus. I sent this to you already. Through your RVCC email. So if you have seen it, that's great. I do have an office on campus. Unfortunately, I'm not there this summer, so everything will be done virtually online. For email, while I do have an RVCC email address, as I had mentioned, I'm also chair of the Math and Computer Science department, so I get a lot of emails there, and I don't want to lose your email. I prefer that all of you communicate with me through Canvas. You can use the email function in Canvas. Or any of the discussion posts, but I'll show you where the email function is. So this is a continuation of Stat 1, and the first 3 units, or the first 2 units, Chapter 8 and most of Chapter 9, are reviews from Stat 1. Now, as far as the content, we are going to be using Mystatlab. This is what's mandatory for the course. Some of you used and purchased Mystatlab in Stat 1, and it will continue because it's per book, and since it's the same book, you will be able to use it. But some of you utilized the free resource that the Pearson gave to everybody during the spring. If you didn't purchase it and your professor wasn't using it in class, I'm not sure that that free resource, which was because of COVID-19, they gave it to everybody in the spring, will work for the course now. So if you do need to purchase it, my recommendation, of course, is to purchase the smallest time frame, which is, I think, 18 weeks. You can't get any smaller than that, and that's the least expensive of the options. You can do it directly when you go to register into the Mystatlab for the first time. And I'll show you where those directions are. There's no course ID. You cannot go to the website itself. Please don't do that. Follow the directions that are in Canvas. So let's take a look. You can read through all this information on your own. If you do have a documented disability, you want to give me your form, please do so. A lot of you are visiting students, so remember at the end of the course you will need to request RVCC to send that transcript to the school. All right, our grading system. The final exam is 30%, tests are 40%. So yes, the bulk of the work you're going to do here comes from exams. They will be online in Canvas for this semester. The quizzes are in Mystatlab. You do not need to show work for those, but to get full credit for test and final exam, you have to upload your work, and every problem needs to be worked out. You will answer forum questions. These forum questions just kind of show me that you opened up the text online, digitally, and read through. This is not like any other math. If you, as you saw from Stat 1, you can actually read through. You get a lot of information by reading these chapters. And of course, your Stat Lab homework is 10%. Okay. So to pass this course, Ds are tricky. While you will get credit at RVCC for your D, it's very unlikely that a D will transfer to you in your next institution. So please, just work hard to get at least a 70% in the course. While a 60% technically will pass you, you want to have that 70%, that's C and above. This will describe forum post, Mystatlab homework, quizzes, test again, the final exam. I'm not sure. I thought I had put the information about the upload, but I guess I did not. Yes, I did. It's down here. So when you do upload work, again, it's going to be you do not submit your test without the uploaded work for the last question. You get to upload one file. JPEG, Doc, DocX, and PDF are the best files to do. I cannot open an HEIC file. They come from, I guess, Safari from Macs. I've tried everything. Students send them to me all the time. It just won't work. But I know you can easily convert that to a PDF. PDF, everybody can convert their file to a PDF. Please try to utilize the PDF. This is the best option. Again, practice taking a couple pages and uploading them as one document before you take your test for the first time. The quickest thing that most students do is just use their smartphone to take pictures. If you take a picture, instead of sending each individual JPEG picture, please download one of those free apps, Genius Scan, Scanner Pro. There's a whole bunch of them. You can then, those pictures will save as a single PDF file that you can upload that PDF file. It just makes it a little bit easier. And it's, again, something you want to practice before you're stuck there, your time's running out, and you only have 10 minutes left of your test, and you're trying to figure out how to upload a document. So practice it ahead of time. You can even send me like 2 test pages to say, hey, did this work? And then you'll know. Let's see. So you want to print this. This is what I sent you last week. These represent each of the modules, kind of a condensed version to let you know what's in them. If there's ever a discrepancy in the date, usually the date on the syllabus is the correct date, but sometimes things get a little tricky. So just shoot me an email and I'll fix whatever needs to be fixed. But these dates are pretty set. You can see we have at the end of week 2, we have a test. At the end of week 4, we have a test. And then during week 6, you will actually take 2 exams, test 3, and then the final. Okay. So let me scoot out of here. Some other things. Here's on the left-hand side, this is the inbox. This is what I would prefer you utilize for emailing me, it just takes you right to Canvas's email system. Okay, so let's talk about Statlab for a second. I'm in student view, so I'm getting denied a lot of things. You will not be denied anything, and it's having a hard time. So what I need to do is leave student view. Okay, now you're going to see my course. I'm going to go into our course. Right now it's not published, but obviously if you're watching this video, it'll be published by shortly. So you need to click the My Lab and Mastering. That's going to take you to a link that's going to help you set up your math lab. But before you do that, go into Modules and open this document, My Lab and Mastering Student Registration Handout. This will give you the steps of how to set up your Mystatlab. Again, this is where your textbook, well, I'll show you everything that's in it in a second. If you've used Pearson before, any MyMathLab product at all, enter that username and password to link your account. If you have an account, or if you don't have one, you have to select Create and follow the directions. The access code. So this is what you need to purchase. If you purchased it in the bookstore or anywhere else, you must purchase it specifically for our Weiss book. It's the 10E edition. And the information's in the syllabus. Best thing and the most cost-effective, usually though, if you can do it, is just as you're setting everything up, you'll have the option to purchase. If you can't purchase it right now, you can get temporary access for about a week. So you can at least start doing your work. But that's going to give you the most cost-effective, is just to purchase it directly as you're doing that work. All right, so once you're done, a couple things are going to happen. Once everything is set up, you will be able to access all the homeworks here simply by clicking on them. It's not going to work until you have your math lab, your Mystatlab registration set up. So when you click on it, oh, don't get too excited. This homework, because it's just an introductory section, only has one question. Probably not the best one for me to pick. Many of them have more than one question. You get this little homework box, and it's embedded in Canvas. Now, some students are okay with this, and they just do the work through here, and they enter their numbers, and they check their answers. Please be very careful about where rounding occurs, because you don't want to get something wrong because you didn't pay attention to the rounding directions. But some people don't like this because it's small. So what they do is they like to access the homework through the actual site. And this is how you're going to get to the textbook as well. Once everything is done, yours is not going to look like this because you're not going to be able to sync grades and everything. Go ahead and open Mystatlab. Again, you need to access it through Canvas. You cannot go directly to the website outside of Canvas. Yours will look a little bit different. Don't worry about what's up top. Okay, and then if you come here and click on the side to assignments, here is the same things that were in your modules. It's just going to be the homework and quizzes, but this time when you open it, you have the option of making it full screen. And again, students tend to like this a little bit better because they can work with it a little bit better. Okay, the other thing is, I had talked a little bit about Statcrunch. This is going to be a very useful tool to you. I'm going to shoot down to some other problem. Let's just go here. Don't worry about the problem. I think this one will work. Of course, I didn't pick the one I wanted. Here we go. So as you move along in doing the homework, the problems are going to get much more involved. And while you will not have Statcrunch available to you on the test, you will have to work. So you do get to use it for some of the problems here. You can take data, open directly in Statcrunch. And again, it's a statistical software program. I will provide a video at one point that kind of teaches you how to use it, but it does a lot of the information. So I will provide something more information about that later. But your textbook is here. So we start in Chapter 8, Section 8.1, go to the e-text. It wants to be a little slow, of course, but you get the idea. Your entire textbook is here. You can access it. You can access any part of it once you open it. Some students, if they have an iPad or a smaller device, tablet, they like to open it through the tablet. If you need an actual version of the textbook, you can certainly go online and rent one. You can even go down to like the version 9, edition 9. If you don't want edition 10, edition 9 is almost identical. Okay, but then you have your full textbook, and you can access any section of your textbook through here. Okay, I think that's enough for the overview. This video is probably long enough at 20 minutes. And then if you just exit out, and what's nice is any of the work you do will show up in your gradebook. If I go real quick again, I just want to go to student view one more time. It may not be immediate, so don't get upset if you do something in Mystatlab and it didn't quite show up in your Canvas gradebook yet. It will get there. Sometimes I have to actually hit a button to sync them. But if you go to your gradebook, you'll get a nice listing of all your work. Again, your gradebook, oh, yep, the homeworks are there. Good. The homeworks are points, so notice 8.1 had only one question, so it was 1 point. You get 1 out of 1. We'll give you the 100 there. Everything here is listed, and then you'll get this nice running total. You can also do a what if scenario, meaning, you know, you want to see, ooh, what do I need on a certain test to get a certain grade? They do not organize this well, but let me see. You know, what do I need on the final? You can come over here and say, hey, what if I got an 80? And then you can click OK, and it will recalculate your grade based on the grade you think you need. So they have a nice what if scenario that you can play around with once. So instead of doing due date, you can do assignment group, however you want to organize them. So that's nice. There's a lot of different things you can do here in your gradebook. So good luck. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you online.